Okay, let's dive right in. As leaders, we're all facing a challenge that's going to define our generation. And you know what? It's getting here way faster than anyone is really prepared for. This isn't about planning for the next quarter anymore. This is about the next 10 years happening in the next 2.
Subscribe to Sci-Yun for more fascinating, insightful, and wealthy stories.
So to really understand just how big this is, let's start with a pretty stark prediction. And this is coming from someone who isn't just an observer, he's actually building the very technology we're talking about. Just take a second and let that number sink in. 50% in 1 to 5 years. Now, this isn't some wild guess from an analyst. This is a direct warning from a core architect of modern AI. He's basically sounding the fire alarm from inside the engine room.
So why does his warning carry so much weight? I mean, who is Dario Amodei? Well, he's not just a CEO. Before Anthropic, he was the VP of Research at OpenAI. He literally led the teams that built GPT-2 and GPT-3. Yep, the models that kicked this whole revolution into high gear. His predictions aren't based on what he reads in the news. They're based on a deep, first-hand knowledge of how these models improve. He knows their trajectory better than almost anyone on the planet.
Okay, to really wrap our heads around the scale of this disruption, we have to completely change what we mean when we say AI. We're moving way beyond just being about automation tools.
This is Amodei's definition of what's coming. So forget about a version of Excel. We're talking about a totally new kind of cognitive resource, an intelligence that can run on its own for weeks, tackling complex problems, and this is the kicker, can be copied millions of times over. This isn't just a new hire, it's an entirely new workforce.
And that metaphor right there, it perfectly frames the new challenge for us as leaders. I mean, just imagine it. You're managing a whole nation of super intelligent employees who work at 100 times human speed, and they all live inside your company's servers. What are the operational risks of that? What are the strategic opportunities? This is the new reality we have to start planning for.
So this brings us to the big question, right? Why is this different? We've navigated big industrial revolutions before. What makes this technological shift any different from all the others?
Well, in the past, we had decades to adapt. The AI revolution is happening in a matter of months. Old shifts automated specific physical tasks. AI targets general cognitive ability, the very thing that makes our knowledge workers valuable. It's not just coming for certain jobs. It's slicing through the entire workforce based on cognitive skill itself.
And here's the most important point. When the tractor replaced farmhands, those workers could go get jobs in factories, jobs the tractor couldn't do. But AI is different. It's not only going to eliminate the old jobs, it's also going to be incredibly good at the new jobs that get created. It's a general-purpose substitute, and honestly, that changes the entire game.
Okay, so looking this reality in the face isn't about panicking, it's about strategy. As leaders, we need a clear playbook for navigating this transition so we can bring our teams and our companies through to the other side.
These are the 4 pillars that have to be the foundation of our response. And it's a sequence, right? It moves from understanding what's actually happening in your own workforce to taking clear, decisive, and responsible action.
And this is where our ethical leadership really gets put to the test. Our responsibility has to go beyond the next earnings call. It means radically reskilling our people so they can work with these new AI systems, finding new ways for humans to create value. It means planning for their long-term welfare. Amodei even suggests we should consider radical ideas, like paying employees even after their roles are automated, funded by the huge productivity gains we'll see. This is the core tension we have to manage, adopting this tech as fast as possible while taking care of our people.
You know, Amodei has a way of framing this whole period that isn't just about a crisis or an end point, but is something much more profound. He sees it as a rite of passage for all of civilization.
Thinking about it this way really is transformative. It shifts the problem from being just about economics or technology and turns it into a test of our collective maturity, a test of our ethical leadership. We are, in a sense, in our technological adolescence. We're incredibly powerful, but we might not be wise enough yet to handle that power without some serious risks.
Now, of course, with any change this huge, there's going to be intense debate, even among the experts who are closest to the fire. And this right here is the central tension that we as leaders have to learn to manage.
So on one side, you've got Amodei, who's warning of a really severe, rapid displacement of jobs. But on the other side, you've got another giant in the field, Yann LeCun, and he is deeply, deeply skeptical of these claims.
So we have two pioneers of AI with completely opposite views on what's about to happen to society.
So what do you do when the very people building the future are this divided? What's the only responsible, strategic choice you can make as a leader? Well, you don't plan for the best-case scenario. You manage risk. And that means you have to prepare your organization for the more severe, the more challenging, plausible outcome.
Ultimately, the history of this transition isn't going to be written by the technologists alone. It's going to be written by the decisions that we as leaders make starting today. So the real question isn't whether or not this is happening. The question is, how will you choose to lead through it?
Subscribe to SciYun for more fascinating, insightful, and wealthy stories.